of broken up the week. Today, we're going to talk all about the things you need to do today, while I also make one of my favorite recipes. I'm actually just making a crust today because crust is something that is super easy that you can make this week. Stick in your freezer, and then it's all ready to go. Pull it out, defrost it the week of Thanksgiving. I usually like to make my pies the day before, but you can make the crust now, which is awesome. So I'm making my apple pie crust, which is on the website. It is great grandma's apple pie recipe. So I'm gonna make that today. And while I make it, I'm gonna talk about all the other things that you guys can be doing this week because Thanksgiving's less than 4 weeks away. In fact, I think it's like 3.5 weeks away, but there is no need to panic because there's still loads of time to get everything done and to prep beforehand. Because honestly, Thanksgiving, it's all about the prep. I mean, it's about the cooking too, but if you can prep and plan as much ahead of time, it makes the week of Thanksgiving and the day before and the day of so much easier, so much less stressful. And my goal is to give you guys all the tools so you can actually spend less time in the kitchen and more time with your family and friends, because I don't know about you guys, but Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays because it revolves around food and family and friends. What could be better than that, right? So I'm gonna get started on the apple pie while we wait for some other people to join us. This is a super easy crust to make. I make it in my Cuisinart, which is my favorite tool to make crusts, because you literally put all the ingredients in, mix it together, and voila, pie crust. No mess, no fuss. Well, I mean, you've got to wash this, but it's relatively no muss, no fuss. So for the pie crust, what I like to do is I'm going to do the flour in increments. So it takes 2 cups of flour, but what I like to do is do 1 cup first. And here's a little tip too. When you do flour, you never want to scoop your measuring cup into the flour because it packs it too much, and then it's going to get too much flour in your pie crust or your cookies or whatever you're making. So you always want to have your measuring cup in one hand and then just scoop with your scoop and then just kind of level it off a bit more. So that's a little tip. So never just scoop in your measuring cup. So I like to put one cup of flour, and I've already cubed up some butter and put it in the freezer because you want your butter nice and cold. So just grab the butter. And I like to use European butter. It's higher butter fat, and I find that it makes for much flakier pie crust. So this is Plugra, but you can use Plugra, you can use Kerrygold. Any European butter would be amazing. So this is 1 cup of butter, and I cubed it up kind of like that. I'm gonna put this on top, and then we're gonna put the other cup of flour. And feel free to pop in any questions that you guys might have. I will be answering questions kind of throughout. I'm gonna go on for probably about like 20-30 minutes today. And I'll be back again tomorrow, and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday at 3 p.m. for about 20-30 minutes. Okay, so we've got all the butter. And then we wanna do another cup of flour. This is such a good pie crust. This is the pie crust that my grandmother would make, that her mom made, that my mom made. So again, that's the great thing about Thanksgiving is cooking recipes that are traditional, which actually brings me to, I got a lot of questions about kind of timing of everything and how to plan for Thanksgiving. One of the best things you can do this week is plan out your menu. Sit down with a pad of paper and a pen and write out all of the menus, all of the recipes that you want to make for Thanksgiving, what recipes you're making, what recipes you want your family or your friends to bring. Because the more you plan out, that also makes it easier because you can plan for how many side dishes you're gonna have, because most of you guys, a lot of you have also asked about how to deal with one oven, and I've always cooked Thanksgiving with one oven. There was a brief moment in time where I had 2, but for the majority of my life, it's just been one oven. And one of the keys is not to make like 5 or 6 side dishes that all need to be cooked or reheated in the oven. 2 or 3, perfect. Salads are really good. Do something that will taste good cold or room temperature. So I always like a salad because I always kind of like the contrast, and a little something healthy on the side never hurts. Also, roast vegetables are really good as a side dish because roast vegetables taste great room temperature. So this is a great week to plan out your menu. Okay, so here is the next step. Now we've got the flour, butter and flour, just kind of doing a little layering technique. And we're gonna just sprinkle 5 tablespoons of sugar. This recipe is on the website under Great Grandma's, oops, I think I lost track, 4, and this is 5. Under Great Grandma's apple pie. And then you just wanna pulse it. So just pulse it a few times because you want it to be kind of like crumbly and pebbly. So another thing that you guys could be doing this week, I love to lay out all of my plates, my platters, my napkins, silverware, and fill in the gaps. Like, how many people are you having? Do you need to go buy some extra silverware? Do you have enough placemats? Do you have enough napkins? God forbid, does anything need to be ironed? I do not iron, but if you guys have linens that need to be ironed, now would be a good time to kind of set aside time and iron the linens. Or have your kids iron the linens, or your husband. Okay, so see, now it's all pebbly. You can kind of see, you can come closer. Any questions? There we go. See, it's kind of pebbly. So now we're gonna add an egg. I'm gonna get some cream too, some heavy whipping cream. Alrighty. Do the egg first. So while it's running, I'm gonna add the egg. And the cream. Nice, they got like a really good, thick, heavy whipping cream. And you're gonna let it go. I know it's kind of loud and noisy, but I want to show you guys what it looks like. And it comes together right in the Cuisinart. And it's gonna roll together in a ball. And then you're just gonna store it in your freezer. So see, it's gonna roll together. So besides pie crust, now is also a really good time this week to make cranberry sauce. If you like cranberry sauce freezes, really well. So compound butters freeze really well, you can do that. Anything that freezes well, this is a really good week to make them. So you can do your rolls too. If you make bread or rolls, make them this week, stick them in the freezer. So as you plan your menu, look through your menu and whatever things you can freeze, make those this week. Almost there. Sometimes you have to coax it, sometimes it rolls it nicely, and other times you have to like finish it off in saran wrap. So let's see, a couple more minutes. Oops. Alrighty, I don't think this one's gonna roll into a ball, which is totally fine. So, I got my saran wrap with this. This over. Also another thing that you guys wanna do this week is order your turkey. So I don't know if you get your turkey from your supermarket or from your local farmer's market, wherever you get your turkey from, make sure you order it this week. Figure out how many people are coming. I usually plan for a pound per person if I don't want that many leftovers, but if you love leftovers, because honestly, okay, we're gonna have serious talk right now for a minute. Thanksgiving is a lot of work to cook. Doesn't matter how much you plan or prep, but you've got all this amazing food. Why cook all this food if you don't have leftovers, right? Like, leftovers are the most amazing thing because you have sandwiches, you have school lunches, you have dinners, you can make turkey soup, you can make turkey stew, you can make turkey chili. There's so many things that you can use with the leftovers to make dinner for like the next week at least. So if you want leftovers, I plan on 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of turkey. If you have teenage kids in your house, especially teenage boys, I would probably go more towards the 2 pound, depending on how many teenage boys you have in your house or that are gonna come over. I would probably err closer to 2 pounds. Also too, people are coming over to your house, you do not want to limit them in terms of how many times they can go back for seconds. So you don't wanna say, nope, no more seconds, no more food, no, you guys are all done. You wanna encourage for seconds because, again, it's Thanksgiving, it's amazing food. Encourage people to eat. Okay, so since this didn't roll up into a ball, no worries. We're gonna just take it out. Be really careful because the blade is crazy sharp. We're just gonna put it on the saran wrap. And then kind of form it a little bit of a ball and use the saran wrap to help yourself put it into a ball. See? now I'm gonna stick this into the freezer. But before, actually, since I'm making it so far ahead of time, and I'm actually gonna be making a bunch of crusts, I'm gonna stick it in a Ziploc bag, and I'm gonna write on it apple pie. Because, oh well, I don't think I have a pen. I'll write on it later. Because if you're making a lot of pies, and you're making a lot of crust, and let's just say you're making pecan pie, and apple pie, and chess pie, and all sorts of pie, chocolate custard pie, whatever pies you're making, you wanna make sure that you know which crust is which when you go to defrost the crust from the freezer. Now that makes a big deal because honestly, crust is crust, and I'm all about the crust, so I really don't care what crust goes with my pie. But if you're making a certain special crust for your pie, just stick it in a Ziploc bag and then label the bag, and that way you know which crust it is. So that's the apple pie crust. Again, it's on the website. It's on under the Thanksgiving feast, which I just put up. I'm gonna be adding some new recipes to the Thanksgiving feast as well. So that's up on the website now. And if you're not a member, you actually have access all this week, because in case you don't know how my website works, my website is membership website, which means that if you are a visitor and not a member, normally you can just see the recipe, the picture, and the ingredients, but not the directions on how to make it. But this week, because I'm doing this Instagram Live, I've opened up the whole website. So you have access all week long to all the recipes, the Thanksgiving recipes. You can see them all. You can read all the directions. So just for this week. So now I'm gonna stick this in the freezer. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about pies or what other things you can make this week? How are we doing on time? Doing pretty well on time. Any other questions? So to rehash, this is a really good week to plan out your menu. So sit down with a paper, pen, and a pad, go over your menu, plan out what you're cooking, and I highly recommend, if you want to try new recipes, this is the week to try them. If you are a super confident cook, go for it, try new recipes. If you're less confident in the kitchen, that's okay. Then just keep the recipes and the menu the same. Because I think the beauty of Thanksgiving, honestly, is the tradition. And if you make the same mashed potatoes every year, the same stuffing, you cook your turkey the same way, there is such beauty in that simplicity and that tradition. And I guarantee that the people coming to your house are probably expecting you to cook exactly those same recipes. So don't worry that you have to shake things up and make new recipes. Oh, do we have a question?
What are your favorite pies to make?
Oh, my favorite pies to make, definitely apple pie. I love a good apple pie. And I love chess pie. So my aunt makes an amazing pie that's very similar to pecan pie. But the one thing that I've never really loved about the traditional pecan pie is kind of the gloopy, thick center, that the pecans sit on. My aunt makes this pie that is a dream. It's a little bit sugarier, a little bit lighter filling. It's the best thing in the world. It's so good. That recipe is also up on the website. It's called chess pie. Amazing. So those are two, definitely my favorite. I've honestly never been a fan of pumpkin. I know. I don't know, that might be sacrilegious. My husband loves pumpkin, so there have been years where I have tried new pumpkin pies to make him happy. And my mom loves pumpkin. So those are the pies. Anything else? Okay. So what was I saying? So in terms of trying new things, don't feel like you have to try new things. Old recipes that you cook every single year are really great because that's the beauty of Thanksgiving, is this amazing tradition. But if you do want to try new things this week, this is the week to do it, to try new recipes, not the week of Thanksgiving and not the day of Thanksgiving, because that will just add to the stress. So sit down, plan out your menu, figure out what you're cooking, what you're going to ask other people to cook, because don't feel that you actually have to cook it all yourself. You can also ask people to bring things. So if your aunt has a favorite, dessert that she likes to make, or you love the way your mom makes stuffing, this is a great time to kind of delegate out. So yeah, that's kind of the recap. Oh, and also don't forget to lay out all of your non-perishable stuff. So this is a really great time right now this week to lay out all of your platters, your plates, your knives, your forks, your napkins, your glasses, because sometimes we forget how many glasses we have. And if you want wine glasses or white wine glasses, water glasses, red wine glasses, after dinner glasses, lay everything out and figure what you need to fill in if you need to fill anything in. It's also a good week to do that. And I'm just glancing at my notes to make sure I'm not leaving anything out. Yeah, So I think that's it. Anyway, so tomorrow we're gonna talk turkey. So I'm gonna show you how to make turkey, my favorite recipe, and then we're gonna talk all things turkey. How to cook it, the different ways to cook it. I covered it a little bit about how much turkey per person, especially because this is the week to order your turkey. And if you do buy your turkey from local markets or farmers markets, I highly recommend going that way and supporting your local farmers. It's gonna be the best tasting turkey ever. But definitely order it this week. And tomorrow we'll be talking more about turkey. And if you're on my email list, you're gonna get a replay of this and every video this week. If you're not on my email list, head over to my profile and you can click the link in the bio to sign up. And that way you'll get the replays. And I'm also gonna send out a Thanksgiving guide at the end with everything I've talked about and more. So, anywho, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome rest of your Monday afternoon. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye for now.